Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today we are looking at some of the easiest guns to use in all of Warzone. Whether you are on console or PC, this doesn't matter if you are on 120 FOV with affected or on that console 80 FOV, which is like looking through a tunnel. Unfortunately, these are some of the lowest recoil and easy to use weapons in the game. We're breaking down the recoil patterns for them, showing just how easy they are to actually control, and obviously the best loadouts for them as well. So as we go through it all, if you enjoy the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it. Really does help grow the channel. And if you're new here or if you have not already subscribed, every day I got you covered with all things going on in Call of Duty, news, updates, loadouts, tips. You're gonna find it all right here, so feel free to subscribe with your notifications turned on. Also, my gamer advantage discount code WhosImmortal is currently boosted to get you 20% off your entire order instead of the normal 10%. So if you're looking to grab a new pair of glasses, now is literally the best time to do so. Link will be down in the description below. So first up, we've got the QBZ. This has always been a semi-decent rifle, especially towards the end of the Cold War era. It was gaining a lot of popularity because this seemed to be Raven's preferred mid to long range rifle from Cold War. They were really pushing this to be one of those more used weapons, and rightfully so. It is very easy regardless of what platform you're playing. I'm going to throw up the recoil plot from True Game Data. Tony actually went in and grabbed all the recoil patterns for all the guns in the game. You can see the QBZs is essentially straight vertical, which is the easiest to control in the entire game, because all you got to do is pull down on your stick or on your mouse and it's going to look like it has no recoil whatsoever, and it doesn't have much visual bounce either, so it's perfect for console as well. So this thing absolutely is one of the easier guns and lower recoil weapons in the game right now. As far as the setup goes here, let's be real, it is a Cold War weapon, so it is very easy to build. First up here, we are going for the agency suppressor. This is going to help out with the control some, also giving us that better range and keeping us off the map. We're also going for the task force barrel, even more control here, better range and velocity as well. I still run the field agent grip, even though it is so easy to use and that pattern is so basic. This is just going to help flatten that pattern out even more. Again, it's going to make it more consistent to land your shots with. Either the 45 round or the 60 round drum, both of these work just fine. I prefer 45 just because it's a bit more snappy. And then I also go for the 3x optic on here as well. Basic Cold War copy and paste rifle setup that works on basically every single Cold War rifle and LMG, but it's getting the job done. Now this next one might be a bit of a surprise. We've got the bar. This thing is a slow firing, heavy hitting rifle, very similar to the Odin. However, if you look at the Odin, that has pretty bad control. This thing is actually very similar to the QBZ, just with a slower fire rate. It again is a nearly vertical pattern, meaning you can control that in the same way, just pulling straight back on your mouse or your controller, or your thumbstick I should say, and it's going to make it look like it has no recoil. Even with the recoil increasing mags that make it have more bounce, it's still so easy to use, and it's a Vanguard gun, so you can really help out with the control here in a lot of different ways. I was surprised that this thing is actually this easy to use, considering that it is one of those more powerful guns in the game. So first up here, you got a couple of choices. You could either go for the MX silencer, or if you wanted to help out with the TTK a little bit, you can actually run a recoil booster. This isn't really going to do all that much to your control here. It's still going to be that same straight vertical pattern, but it's going to help out with that TTK, like I said, and make it kill a little bit quicker. So you could go either of those, and there's not really a wrong choice here. Now for the barrel, a lot of players prefer the 30 XL because obviously it's giving you better velocity and better control. I actually prefer the 27-inch barrel because again, you're getting better control, but you're also getting better range, which is a huge deal obviously. So I prefer that personally. For the optic, really you could go with whatever you prefer. 2.5 G16, you could go for the 4-8, you could go for the 3-6, which personally is what I'm going to go ahead and run. Really just comes down to preference there. For the stock here, Chariot WR is the easy choice, better control, helping out over range obviously for that. I prefer the hand stop here just for the better control all around. I like that a little bit more than Carver in my own opinion. For the mags, I see a lot of players going for the Clouser 30. This works fine. The TTK is just going to be a little bit worse here. It is going to help out even more with the control though. Personally, I prefer the BMG 40. It does hurt your control, but not enough to deter it from being one of those lower recoil weapons in the game. And it's also helping out your range and your damage as well. So to me, that's sort of a no-brainer. Also going for lengthened and polymer here as always. For perk 1, we've actually got hard scope, which is perfect in this case, making the control even better. Then for perk 2, obviously we're going for fully loaded as well, usual setup there. But this thing, like I said, kind of a surprise choice here, but also very easy to use. I think a lot of players are sleeping on this. Next up, we've actually got the Finn. Not only does this thing have one of the better TTKs over range in the game, It's also very easy to use, even when you have the highest fire rate possible on this thing, which again is kind of surprising to say. Here, the pattern is essentially straight vertical with a slight horizontal deviance to the right, but it's really not enough to deter this from being one of these top easy to use low recoil weapons in the game. In my opinion, you're just pulling straight back again with a slight curve to the left, or a slight lift to the left there. That's really not that hard to force into your gameplay, I would say. So this thing absolutely is going to be perfect for medium and long range fights where you want to stay on target but also deal really good damage. Now obviously we've only got our 5 attachment spots here. First up, we are going for the monolithic suppressor to help out with that range and also keep us off the map. We're going for the long shot adverse barrel here. Better range, better velocity. This is also giving us that best fire rate, which is going to make the TTK very good. It says it hurts the control, but honestly, it is so easy to use this thing. It's not really a bad con to have there. We are going for the commando foregrip here to help out with the control even more. I'm also going to go ahead and run the tac laser to help out with the aiming stability, then also the ADS speed. Then finally, I go for the VLK 3x optic. That's a no-brainer choice there. The tac laser is really the wild card attachment here. If you didn't want to use that, you could definitely run a 100 round belt if you wanted to. You could run a stock if you wanted to and have a better ADS walking speed. You could run a perk if you wanted to and have a better reload. Comes down to preference on that one. I don't feel like there's a lot of great attachments for the fin outside of the long shot adverse, but at the end of the day, it is a very easy gun to use that absolutely can hold its own. Moving on, we also got to bring up the KGM40. Now, the drawback to this thing is that while it has insanely good recoil, it is so easy to use, it does lack in damage. So this is the gun that, yeah, it's super easy, but it's going to take a lot of shots to actually take somebody out. So risk versus reward there's not a high risk in using this weapon. There's not a huge reward either, right? The pattern here is a little bit horizontal. You do have that up and to the right pattern, but it is just such a consistent up and to the right that, again, it's not hard to control at all. Easily one of the lowest recoil guns in the game. While it does look like it moves a lot vertically, that's pretty much every gun in the game, especially a ranged weapon. You'll notice that, but because it's such a simple pattern, pulling down into the left, you're gonna have no recoil on this thing, which in turn might help you land more shots. So maybe you are killing relatively quickly with this thing just because you can consistently stay on target. Again, you got a couple options. You could run the recoil booster if you wanted to. I personally prefer the MX silencer just to help out with that control a little bit more. Recoil booster, though, is great for trying to improve that TTK a little bit. For the barrel here, going for shrouded, better velocity, better control as well. So obviously that's a no-brainer. Going for the 3x optic yet again. It's personally my favorite, but you could go for your preferred preference if you wanted to. For the stock here, honestly, you got some good options. The 12V is great, better control here. Padded is also better control, but also better movement speed. Personally, I like that, but both of these options are honestly really good. For the underbarrel, obviously going for hand stop, perfect for range. For the magazine here, really, there's not a ton of great options if I'm being honest. The Sakura 40 is going to help out with the control even more, but the TTK is just not great. The Clouser 60 is just that basic extended mag, which is what I would probably recommend the most, but it's still, the TTK is not phenomenal. The 30-0660 is damage increasing, but it's just still really not worth it in my opinion. I go for the extended mags. Again, lengthened, polymer, no surprise there whatsoever, obviously. Then for perk 1, we do have tight grip, so we're gonna go for that, help out with that control during sustained fire. And then perk 2, fully loaded, obviously. No surprise there either. Pretty basic setup, but yeah, like I said, so easy to use. And then lastly, we got one of my all-time favorites, the MP7. This thing has been a very consistent, easy to use, low recoil, low effort weapon since Warzone ever released, right? This has been a top SMG choice. It's honestly got pretty good damage for like a mid-range fight. So as an SMG, close and medium range, it's sort of that hybrid build that is great for sniper support, but also as a secondary SMG as well, which I absolutely love. The pattern here is, again, sort of that up and to the right horizontal and vertical combination, but again, just like what we saw with the KGM40 and even a little bit of the fin, it's very easy to control there. You're just pulling down into the left a little bit and it's gonna look like it has no recoil. And where you're using this in those 0 to 35, maybe 40 meter fights max, those are super easy fights to stay on target because the targets are naturally bigger. Now here we're going for the monolithic suppressor as always, alongside the recon barrel. Best control, best range, best velocity out of that. I also go for the tac laser in this case to get that better ADS speed. I rock the 50 or the 60, literally does not matter at all there. You just want that extra 10 bullets, sure, go for it. It'll be a little bit slower, but it's not, you know, detrimental. Then lastly, I also go for the stipple grip tape, the icon, to help out that ADS speed and that sprint to fire a little bit. You could run like a Merc foregrip here to help out even more with the control, but but it's such a simple pattern, I don't think you really need it. This setup to me is just more consistent, more aggressive, while maintaining really good control throughout. And with that being said, those are the top 5 lowest recoil and easy to use weapons in the game right now. And that's going to wrap things up for today. If you enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it. Would be seriously appreciated. And if you're new here, or if you have not already subscribed, every day I got you covered with all things going on in the world of Call of Duty. So feel free to hit that sub button and turn on those post notifications. That way you'll always know whenever I post a new video. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.